Welcome back to Library channel. Today's class will be learning how to make this very simple bow cape. Okay, it's a cape that has like a tie knot at the center and is very simple and beautiful. If this is something you would like to learn, kindly stay tuned to the end of this tutorial. Thank you. Okay, so there are several ways you can cut this cape. Okay, you can cut it in a straight form or you cut it in a bias form, but I advise that you cut this on bias because it's going around the arm so that you can raise your arm easily. Cutting it on bias will make it open it up for you. So the first thing you need to note now is the measurement of where you're going to be placing this, which is usually the round arm. So what you're going to do is take your tape measure and get the measurement of where you're placing this. In this case, I'm working with 39 inches including seam allowance. Okay, so once I have my 39 inches and I'm working with this Ankara fabric, I'll come to my Ankara fabric and then I'll place my fabric on bias. Okay, placing your fabric on bias simply means you're folding it like in a triangular form like this. So after folding my fabric like this, I'm going to take the measurements that I need. In my case, I'm working with 39 inches, so I'm going to check if I have up to 39 inches. So after taking my 39 inches measurement, the next measurement I need is the length of my cape. Okay, that's how long you want this cape to be, and that is totally up to you. Okay, so I'm working with 10 inches. So from here now, I'm going to be measuring 10 inches including allowance. So what you just need to do is to make sure that you have up to 10 inches here, which is what I have. So I have 10 inches now, and then I'm going to make that place into a straight line so that it's going to be easy for me to remember. It's on bias, so it means it's no longer equal on this side. So for it to be easy for me to work with, I'm going to make this place into a straight line like this, and then I'm going to start taking my measurements, my 39 inches measurements from there. So I have 10 inches length now for my cape, and then from here I'm going to measure 39 inches. So I'll just take my tape measure and measure 39. So I'm still going to shift it to show us. So I have 39 inches on this side now. You can see it. So next thing now is for me to make this also into a straight line. Then after making it into a straight line, I'll check that I have up to 10 inches. So this is my 10 inches. So now from this fold point here, I'm going to be measuring 10 inches upwards so that I can have a straight line, and I'm going to be lining this. So I'm just cutting like this. Me folding it over means I'll have to, okay, you can see that this place is on fold. So from that fold point, I'm just going to measure 10 inches upward, and this is going to guide me on how I'm going to roll my straight line. So once I have the 10 inches at strategic points, I'm going to connect them together. So after connecting together like this, I'll take my scissors and then I'll cut this out. So like I said, I'm cutting both the lining and the main fabric together. You can actually line this with a different fabric, but because it's likely your lining may be showing, especially when you raise your arm, so you may want to consider using the same fabric. So after having it like this, you can slash it into two, or you just turn it like that. So I'm not going to be slashing this into two. So you can see that I have two 10 inches now. By the time I open it, it's going to be 20 inches. So I just take this to the sewing machine now and run a stitch here so that I can turn it out neatly. Okay, so I've gone ahead to sew it there, and the next thing is for me to turn this out. So now this is turned out and this is what I have. Okay, so after turning it out like this part that I have my seam line, I'm just going to push it to the middle so that it's going to be my wrong side, and I'm not going to be having any seam line on both edges. So you can see that part on my middle, and this is my wrong side, while this is going to be the right side on my fabric. So now after doing this, you're going to be folding this into two like this, and then I'm going to note the midpoint. So I'm just going to note this midpoint with my chalk. So after noting it, I'm going to open it up again. You can just draw a straight line on that midpoint to guide you. Okay, so after having it like that, the next thing is for me to cut a strip of fabric that I'm going to use to gather this. So you can just cut a fabric of 2 inches width by around 4 inches or 3 inches length. So my leftover fabric now, I'm just going to take it and put it on fold by 2. I'm going to put this on fold by 2, and then I'm going to cut a fabric of 4 inches length by 2 inches width, or whatever it is that you want to. I'm just going to eyeball it. I'm cutting 5 inches by 2 inches. So after having this small fabric now, I'll take it to the sewing machine also, and then run a stitch on it like this. So after stitching it, I'm just going to turn this out also, and then I'm going to push the seam line area to the midpoint, just like I did for this. So the next thing is for you to pleat this midpoint. So you can either pleat this or gather it. Okay, so after plating it on the midpoint like this, you want to take it to the sewing machine. You can just hold it with a stitch, and then you're going to be using this to cover it up. So we are going to be, when you're sewing this to your neckline, to your main neckline, you can just sew this part like this to the neckline, so that it's going to cover it up for you. But I'm not sewing this to a neckline, so I'm just going to go ahead and sew this to my machine like this. You can see the way I'm placing it. The rough edges will be placed like this, so that by the time I sew it and I flip it over, it's going to conceal these rough edges for me. Okay, and then here also I'll find a way to tuck in these rough edges. So I've sewn this band. Now you can see the way it is sewn. So by the time I flip it, it's going to be neat. And also I've gathered it on the midpoint. So now the next thing now is to cover this gathered part up with my band like this, and then I'll just neatly tuck in the band so you can see what I have. So now I'm going to be sewing this part to my center back. Okay, and then all of this is going to go around the armhole. So now I'll take this to the mannequin so that we'll see what it looks like. Okay, so I've placed this for my mannequin now, and this is what I have. So to sew it to your dress, you can just sew this upper part here to your main off shoulder dress underneath it, or you just tack it if that is what you want. So I hope you enjoyed making this simple tutorial with me. If you enjoyed it, let us know in the comment section. Like, comment and subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.